Hi, this is Dave Perry, and you're watching Retrogaming Revival live.
Welcome, evening. It's Wednesday, it's 8 PM and it's Retro Gaming Revival Live. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell. Tonight, we're here to talk about Twitch and numerous other retro gaming related topics. So before we get into that, let's see who we've got with us tonight. We have the man who spent more time in a broom cupboard than Ed the Duck. It's Blunners. Evening. A man who last wore that Ghostbuster t-shirt when he was out dogging on our stream of Gebs. It's Nintendolly.
Shocking behaviour.
A man with the most famous eyes since the shifty ones in cartoons. You know, the ones that sort of zoom in on and they look evil. It's laser eyes, triangle face.
Hello.
So evening.
Oh, I'm dreading this.
Oh no, it's very short because I'll just let Dean rinse you during this stream. I was just going to say it's the poor relation of Vanilla Ice. It's Duba.
Greetings.
And myself and everyone on the panel want to give a warm welcome back to a friend of the show, a Games World legend, the only Twitch stream you need to watch and subscribe to. It's me, Machine Dean. So welcome.
Well, mate.
I like the way you mocked everyone except the guest. As I was sitting there, I was going, what's he going to say about me? The biggest mug on Twitch, although this is the biggest mug on Twitch. You can buy them at my store, by the way. Sorry, cheap plug. Or cheap mug, in fact. There you go, cheap mug. But no, it's great to be back and among friends. We see Dorba is in the house. So I had to pause there before I said it.
I'm impressed, mate. I'm impressed. You got it right.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
I quite like the Duba, though. I quite like it.
I do want to get a shirt that says Dorba on the front, and as you walk past and look behind it, it's actually Duba.
Yeah, do you know what? If you want one, I'll buy one. I'll buy one from your store if you can get one.
I mean, I've got some time, so I'll drop you a link soon.
That's a deal. I will purchase one if they're under
sold
£15.
I can make 20 pence off a sale. Get in, come on.
Okay, let's see who's in the chat. We've got Paul Rhodes. So evening, Paul. We've got Duba in the chat. I don't know why you're in the chat, but you're here anyway. C2K, hey all. Hope you have a great evening. So hi, thanks for joining us. And we've also got Roger Olver, Evercade's #1 fan. So evening, Roger. Welcome to the stream. So let's get straight into it. And as I mentioned in our intro, we're here to talk about Twitch tonight. And honestly think me, Machine Dean, the best Twitcher. Is that a word? Is that what you call yourself? Twitch streamer?
I mean, I think it's streamer, but if I do have too much coffee, yes, I do become a Twitcher. So both comments are correct.
Yeah.
Amazing. I just needs to coin that term now. It's just we're going to change it. Everyone's going to be called Twitchers from now on. Yeah, you want to get that trademarked.
Guys, I've had a word. Twitcher.
They've
said yes.
So I thought before we get into it, we could watch whilst Triangle Face coughs. Sorry. We could watch the trailer to your stream, which I thought would be quite a nice thing. So hopefully I can do this properly. I'm going to try and get sound and everything. So bear with me.
I apologise in advance.
Here we go.
Is that Another World?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
Classic.
Never got that far in that game, though.
Do you know what? There was actually the second game that came out that I tried to play, and that was yeah. Didn't
What is
last very
that?
long. That's Beat
Saber.
Saber. I need to get back into that. Oh, this was
Great.
Gladiator 1984.
Wow.
And yes, effing pigs. It's all about Speedball 2.
Yeah.
It's all about Speedball. This is a great game, by the way. You essentially have to build a death machine and then go and do thy bidding.
Nice.
Although in this instance, it basically collapsed and I managed to kill everything. I don't know how it worked. So, yes.
So there we go. So that's twitch.tv/MeMachineDean. Everyone subscribe if you're on Twitch. And I think if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe for free. Is that correct?
He's doing it for me. This is lovely. Yeah. I need to hire Ryan to do this more often.
PR man, yeah, you need a PR man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. So let's get into it. So what made you decide to start a Twitch stream, and when did you start that channel?
Do you know what? I actually used to watch a lot of Twitch streams. How long have I been streaming for? I think it's just, I want to say it's over 3 years. I think, oh, actually, hang on. I've got 3. Yeah, okay. Now I can tell you why. So where I work, which I won't disclose, I decided to get involved. In fact, I've put one of the postcards off with special effects. And if you don't know who, let me hold that up.
Well, let me put you on solo so we can
there you go. So Special Effects are a charity who are very close to my heart, and they do a lot of great work with people and children who have got physical disabilities. Sorry, I'm trying to put this postcard back.
Okay.
So what they'll do is they'll take, unfortunately I haven't got a pad to hand, but it will essentially take, like, for instance, an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One pad, strip the entire thing down, and then make it actually function depending on what the person's disability is. So, for instance, if someone has the ability to move, say, their neck and possibly a hand or a foot, they'll actually adjust it and make big buttons. So, for instance, they could push their head to one side to make an action happen, or they'll put a pillow down for like a racing game and stuff. So they do some incredible work. And I said, this is probably a good chance for me to kind of get involved in Twitch and do something good at the same time. I always wanted to try and, I guess, give back. And this was like the best way I could do it. So Work very kindly said whatever is donated, they'll double. So I was like, okay, fine. And I think the first time I did it, I think through the stream I must have raised, I think it was about £600, which obviously then was then doubled. So it was a considerable amount. Brilliant. And I just carried on from then, to be honest. And I'd always been watching Twitch streams for a while. I was always kind of interested because it seemed to be I guess it was the next step from YouTube, right? Because obviously YouTube is a very one direction conversation if you exclude the comment section. But you know, Twitch is real time. It's there. It's happening, and there's a lot of, you know, especially in my streams, there's a lot going on all the time, so you never quite know what's going to catch you out. So yeah, it was actually a charity stream that got me involved, and that then spawned my podcast and, you know, merch that I've got, like this, for instance, and yeah, it was a hobby that blew up into something a bit more than I was expecting it to be. So yeah, that's the story.
And your channel is really interactive. You were saying that YouTube is you've got the live chat, but your Twitch streams are very interactive. Some of I don't know if Duba wants to mention about his experiences.
Yeah, all I can remember, Ryan, is you requesting some horrible songs when you play. Is it what's that trucking game? I can't remember what it's called.
Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I'll tell you to one thing, those are my most successful streams. Can't tell you why. I could put VR on, make it mixed reality, do amazing stuff. Sit there with a truck and some music. Bah, bah, yeah, like everybody pulls in.
Dean, I have a lot of respect for you, obviously. I only put on, I think it was Faith No More, Metallica.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other one, but they were all good rock songs. Ryan put on crap like Adam Rickett. What else?
Rick Waller.
Rick Waller, Cheeky Girls. You know, I personally thought that was a bit disrespectful, but you know. I may have put Rick Waller on once, I think, but I soon learnt from my mistake.
That's not a name you hear much anymore, is it? I mean, come on, Rick Waller.
I haven't heard that name for years.
Jesus Christ.
You've now got me where it was. You've now got me intrigued. Sorry to do this live, but you've actually piqued my interest. Rick Waller, what is he probably up to? If I find out he's on Twitch, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Can you imagine if he is?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Twitch did have a singing thing for a while, didn't they? I did actually say I was going to do a Twitch sing stream, and then they kind of cancelled it all, and I was like, well, I've got out of that one, so nice. So apparently there's just nothing on him. Lives in Kent, and that's about it. So
he probably living off the royalties, didn't he? So obviously, what did he have? I'll always love you, isn't it? He must get loads of royalties from that song. So
something inside so strong covered that as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
What was it he won? He won one of the shows. Was it like Pop Idol back then?
Yeah, I think he won.
Pop Idol.
He didn't even make it to the final.
No, he didn't make it. I thought he won it.
No, he dropped out, didn't he? I think he was paid off from the final 10. I know far too much about this, but he was also the only. He was also the. We've gone totally off a tangent here. Sorry about this, everyone watching. But he's the only person on Fit Club or Fat Club or whatever it was called who actually put weight on, and then said that he hadn't eaten a week. And I always remember that. He basically had the body mass of a pork scratching, I think. So there we go. That was the last I saw of Rick Waller on.
If you're watching, Rick, love you.
Yep. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the Christmas special. Sing us out.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. I don't know. Do you think? I don't know. I might actually look him up.
See if he try and get in touch with Rick bloody Waller.
He is. Give him a call live on the stream, Rick. You're on.
Yeah, I've been live.
Rick, it's Vanilla Ice. I'm just like.
Tell you what, he's on Twitter. He is on Twitter.
Oh dear.
Amazing.
Oh, hang on. I don't think that's him.
Rail this back before this goes full on.
Yeah, there's no blue tick. I'm not sure if it's him.
Can you imagine it's an imposter?
No.
Who would pretend to be Rick Waller? If you're going to pretend to be...
I'll tell you what, mate,
parody account of Rick Waller.
You'll be surprised. So far, the first 4 are all him, but they look like fake accounts.
Amazing.
Rick Waller. Oh my God, there's loads.
Quick, Ryan, bring him back.
Okay, right. Dean, tell us what makes a successful Twitch channel.
Ooh, now that is good. Now I'm gonna go for a bit of a historical story. So when I kind of started strictly speaking, I did stream actually before that charity event, and I was streaming to streaming to nobody. I was literally talking to myself, and nobody was coming in my room. And it's very hard, I think, for people to start Twitch streaming now because of that disheartenment that you get, especially if, it's a bit like uploading a YouTube video and not getting as many views as you would like. But the thing is I think one thing you have to be very passionate about is you have to enjoy it, right? It's like a thing. If you're a chef, you have to really enjoy the things that you do. If you're a musician, you have to really enjoy the music. And I think the same almost goes with Twitch. Now, obviously, I'm not doing this full time, but there have been times where I've thought about giving up and putting it to one side. But I kind of had to have a self-discussion with myself about what is the reason for doing this. And to be honest, a lot of it actually helped during lockdown because, as I said, with Twitch being so interactive, it was like having a two-way conversation with your mate. So I try and make my streams a bit like a couple of mates getting around a house and having a bit of a laugh and a bit of banter and stuff like that with, Vanilla Ice dancing on screen because of Duba.
my favourite one. My favourite one.
And a variety of other different things. But I think what makes a successful stream or streamer is consistency and enjoying what you do. I think those two things are very important because if you're not enjoying it and you're not being consistent, people are not going to be able to find you. There's a whole, I could talk about this for hours, but, there's things like, keeping your social media up to date and, posting clips of your streams and, if anything funny happens and then, talking to other people to try and get interactions to expose your reach. But the fundamentals are, it doesn't matter. Some people think that you have to go out and buy a brand new big, powerful graphics card, a ridiculously powerful machine and things like that. But you don't really, because, I know some people who don't necessarily game stream. They actually do live streams by walking around in the streets in Japan and they get thousands of views. So, the best thing to do is take stock of what you've got and try and make the best out of it. And if you are really interested in getting into Twitch streaming, reach out to me. My DMs are always open, especially for Duba.
Midnight,
2
a.m.
It's always good. And the other thing is listen to your own self. You know, as I said, if you're doing it and you're not enjoying it, maybe it's not for you. Maybe YouTube is the way to go, or maybe it's a different part of streaming that you may enjoy. Maybe people actually enjoy, you know, taking making content or something for streamers. You know, whether that be taking like the clip that you actually showed at the beginning with my trailer was actually made by a friend of mine. So, you know, they may not necessarily be a streamer, but they actually helped me in making that. So yeah, I think consistency and enjoying what you love are the two main things. You know, my streams are pretty insane, but it's taken me 3 years of trials and tribulations and dedication to it. And, you know, I still sit back and think, you know, I can always do better. But, you know, the mentality that I go with, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. And I almost feel like if other people are enjoying it, then that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and with your game,
pretty well said.
Go on then, Tendolly.
Yeah, no, I just completely agree. I completely agree with it. I think unless you're sort of lucky enough to be part of something like when Twitch first started out, I had a games website a long time ago. We were, you know, just you know, again, it was sort of like this. It was 5 guys just writing reviews because basically we just wanted free games. And we sort of were like, well, we're never going to crack YouTube now because all the big names are already there and doing it. So what's new? And Twitch was very new. So we started doing Twitch, and then, you know, we eventually disbanded the website because a few people went off. Everybody had proper jobs, and that was it. And then, you know, 2 years later, people were getting paid to do Twitch, and we're like, I wonder if we'd carried on with that. Would we have been in there in its infancy? But if you're not lucky enough to be there at its conception, then yeah, absolutely what you said. Just as long as you enjoy it, people just gravitate to good personalities, and that is why people enjoy your streams, and they enjoy, you know, everybody else.
A perfect example of that is like a busker in the street. Like, there's been times where, for instance, in London or even in Windsor down the road from me, I'll walk past a busker and be like, you're playing a guitar like I've never heard before. And it's like, that is some incredible talent. But, you know, it's a bit like Twitch. There are some incredibly talented people out there. I mean, I know people who have got a lot less viewers than I have, and that's saying something because I don't get a huge amount myself. But there are some incredibly talented people who just haven't had that exposure. And I think it's just, a lot of it does come down to luck, to having that right moment where things kick off and it really starts to skyrocket. And I've had a couple of moments like that. But, you know, if you're going to sit there and fascinate about numbers and things like that, you're just going to make yourself depressed and not happy. But if it's something you enjoy, even if you stream to one person, I remember the first time I had one person drop into my stream and interact with me, and it was like the best stream ever. Because you're just having that interaction, knowing that someone is enjoying your content. And fortunately enough, I've got, you know, people like yourselves and a wonderful amount of people who drop into my streams, who do often take the mick, which is fine, that is allowed. But, you know, it does make me very happy to know that even my streams are just taking a little bit of someone's day out, maybe from stress, or even, as I said, through COVID. You know, it was brilliant streaming during lunchtime whilst people are at home during lunch and stuff like that, or even during the evenings, just to take people's minds off COVID and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a journey, but we're not done yet.
The interactions as well. I find that you have your little, like, you can pick your little character, it goes around your screen and that, and then like the interactions you do, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, that's something I learned, and I actually learned that myself because I used to go into, well, it's like what everyone does, right? Everyone kind of looks at the top of the tower and says, what's the top person at the top doing, right? And you look at their stream, and this is no disrespect to people like Ninja and stuff like that, but they have so much going on in their stream in terms of chat. There's absolutely no way they'd be able to sort of sit there and read chat and carry on. I mean, I still struggle, and I've managed to get my chat to be actually on the stream, on the screen that I'm actually streaming from. So to have that kind of level, I kind of sat there and said, well, if people are not getting that interaction, is there a way that you can kind of get the community and get them to interact with each other? So that's kind of where that's come from. And there's still a lot more to go. There's still so much more I need to add to the stream. And I haven't told anyone about this yet, but there's constant levels of interactivity that are going to go up. But I totally agree. There needs to be that interaction. But first and foremost, you've got to love what you do. 100%.
I think that's the key bit there that you say you've got to love it. Because if you love it, then, like you say, if you've got 2 people and you're loving it, then that's great fun.
Exactly.
I think that really comes across in your streams that when you're twitching on Twitch. Twitching. The passion that you have for gaming and your audience and interacting. it does really come across. And I know, Tim, you've jumped in on the chat a few times when Mean Machine Dean's been.
Can I be brutally honest though? And you might not. This is a confession. It's often you go live around the time my kids are still up, and I'll jump on. But I had the sound off because my kids are playing. I was like, I have it on quiet, so I watch him.
Well,
you need to
I really like to actually listen
Yeah.
every now and then. It's like, I'll turn up a little bit, and then my daughter's like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" It's like nothing. I turn it off. So I haven't really engaged as much as I would like. But yeah, I do jump on if I can.
But you see, that's useful to know because there is a function within Twitch that's actually for closed captioning, and it's obviously for people who, for instance, are deaf. But you know, hearing that back means that maybe I should interact with that because maybe my time is around for instance, as you said, it's bedtime and people can't listen to it. So I may introduce things like that. So again, a lot of it is taking some of that feedback and making adjustments on the fly as well. So good.
Yeah,
good thank you.
It's funny you should mention the closed caption actually, because I would never have used that before, but actually now I do sometimes watch stuff on YouTube with closed caption on because my TV's on my lounge and my kids are watching like Peppa Pig or something, and I can sit and watch something on my phone and pretend that I'm watching Peppa Pig, but I'm not. I'm watching something on YouTube. I have the sound down. The other thing as well is you got to be careful because sometimes I'll play a video on Facebook or something, and then the person doing the video just starts swearing. I'm like, oh, the kids are like,
or it's one of those text noise ones, or the the man with the massive,
so you got to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to know what closed captioning would do when I keep calling Duber a mug. So
it's only one way to find out.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to set it up now.
Yeah, just next time he comes in, you're gonna be like, "Triangle face, answer my question."
You can listening. You like, "What? How was your day?" Like, if I don't reply, it's like, "I can't actually hear you. I'm just watching."
I don't know. Stop picking on me.
I think Duber, before the end of this stream, should try and reach out to Rick Waller and see if he can get a reply from him before the end of the stream.
You know what?
Do it. Come on.
There's loads of Twitter accounts, but
yeah,
I don't.
Who was it? We saw an account of something. It was someone that was on Twitch, but it's a fake account of someone. It's like someone who's like a child celebrity. For some reason, they chose her.
You were going to say something else then. I'm glad.
The girl from
U-Tree smashing through the window any moment.
Yes, yeah.
The girl from Mrs. Doubtfire.
She's got. There's someone who's like a fake Twitch streamer using her account. It's like odd choice, I guess.
I must confess to the worst tweet I've ever sent, which was I did a stream where I had a 3DO here next to me, one of my favourite consoles, by the way, and I know everyone's going to be, it is crap, but anyway, we'll look over that. And I was playing Wing Commander, I think it's Wing Commander 4? Maybe it was 4. And it's got the lovely actress, Ginger Lynn, who may or may not raise some eyebrows. She used to be a adult actress. So she was actually in there. And the funny thing is that her and the bloke who played Luke Skywalker, whose name's just evaded me.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, that's it. So Mark Hamill is the lead character that you play as. And they basically have some quite odd dialogue, very, very innuendo filled. So one of my fellow people who drops into my stream every so often, I think he's got a bit of a thing for her. So I sent a tweet to her saying, by the way, this guy absolutely loves you. Never bloody replied.
How rude.
I got a fan here. And I'm going, here you go.
There's a fan.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So rude.
So,
Unbelievable.
with your Twitch stream, can I ask you, those fights that happen, are people playing that, or are they just random? It's just random.
They're all random, yeah. So I originally thought you could actually do commands, but no, not to be, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint.
Well, I am slightly disappointed because I got the controller up on the thing and everything, trying to.
Come on.
Yeah,
what was that? I saw a thing a while ago where somebody set something up on Twitch. I can't remember how they did it, but there's a chat group where people could input commands that actually affect the game, and someone had a game of Pokemon running for absolutely ages, like without stopping, and everyone could just jump on and put commands in. But every now and then people would like end up quitting the game because it would like go into the menu and go to exit and quit, and it would just start all over again. So I don't know if it ever got finished. Yeah,
so there are a couple of things like that, and I have something in the works that I'm not going to tell anyone about here, and I'm definitely not going to say it publicly here because someone will copy me. But I am going to attempt or I should say, we are going to attempt a world record, but I'm not going to say what it is yet.
Cool.
Exciting stuff.
Exclusive.
All of it. I am actually talking to the Guinness people at the moment, not the beer makers, obviously. But yeah, well, all some draft makers, draft or beer. I don't know. I don't drink alcohol. I don't know. All I know it's black and it's full of iron. So there you go.
It tastes disgusting.
Yes. But yeah, so I'm currently in discussions with them about how it's going to work. But yeah, in the very near future, hopefully, we will set the very first world record of its kind. So.
Oh, amazing! And what we could do is arrange for Rick Waller to sing "Something Inside So Strong" as like, you know,
well,
get you going.
Really spilled that.
I've got a Rick Waller update.
Okay.
I've got it on Instagram, and this chap, I won't say his name, but his name is Ricky Waller. And I've done. There's a bit of a theme with his photos. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know if you can see his photos.
Hang on. No, that's not him.
I'm sure. Hang on a minute. I think he was trying to copy my style. Hang on, let me back tap a minute.
I mean, look, it's just the same. I'm still going.
Hold one of them big. Open them up. One of them. I just want to try and see if I can copy him. Hang on.
I'll pick one at random.
You get one that's got a back cap. Oh, okay, that will do. Right.
Right. So we exit that. Let's go, Dean.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, hang on.
Here we go.
So, yeah.
There you go.
I won't say his name, but if you want to go on Instagram, type in Rick Waller. He's the first one that comes up.
Lad.
So maybe give him a follow. But yeah, I like his photos. They're all the same, which is good.
See, it's consistent. It works.
Yeah. So I did actually used to follow, just for laughs. I did eventually unfollow it, but I did used to follow a Facebook group that was called The Same Picture of Jeff Goldblum Every Day. So you're going through it's just the same picture of Jeff Goldblum, and then you look at the comment section, and there's people who like tag a friend every day. It's like, oh, just doing this is me tagging this person in the same picture of Jeff Goldblum every day, and they always reply back saying, "Please stop doing this." You're just trolling it. It's quite funny actually. And every now and then I forget about it, and I'd be scrolling through Facebook, and I'd see the same picture of Jeff Goldblum just pop up in my stream.
You know,
so
all the times you mugged me off, Duba, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna automate it.
I'll put you on snooze for 30 days, whatever it is. You can go on there.
Brilliant.
Right. With the games you play on Twitch, how do you decide which games you're going to play on each stream? Because you're quite varied with, like, you've had truck driving, the horror game that you played Friday Night at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, that was. I changed my pants a few times. But do you know what? It's weird because I always wanted to be exclusively retro, and I guess in doing that you do kind of pigeonhole yourself, and it's a very niche thing, right? Being retro and stuff like that, and everyone's kind of jostling for position. So I think sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a change. I mean, I've actually got a stream coming up that I'm not going to tell anyone about because I might be one of only a few that's going to be streaming it. But anyway, that aside. We're playing, proper PC games like Doom Eternal and as you said, Euro Truck Sim. It breaks the norm, right? And I think if you just get into a same thing of just doing retro week in, week out, it gets a bit samey. So, sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a palate cleanser and trying something different. It may, I may find in the future that retro isn't that popular, and playing something else may be something that's suitable to me. So I always try and keep that door open. But retro will always be my first love. But in terms of what I choose to pick, it's literally been going through my collection or something that is of interest that I may not have finished or completed for a while, and I'm just like that would be what I go for today. Yeah. So I mean, even now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't quite know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I've got a rough idea. There could be something that will be very funny, but we'll see. But a lot of it is just me just exploring stuff. I always previously tried to go after, what's popular, that will be the good thing to do because everyone will love it. But then I kind of sat back and went, but what do I want to play? And that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, why are you playing that? And I'm like, because I never finished it. Like this is why I'm playing it, because I don't really get that much time to actually play games. So why not, whilst I'm streaming, do both at the same time? And that way I've got like my mates around me whilst I'm streaming, and then we can all have a laugh together.
That's a really good way to think of it, because my effectively my time to actually play video games is normally quite late in the evening, because I've got my son just games all the time anyway, so I never really see him. But
Good lad.
I've got an 11-year-old daughter who, she's just started secondary school. She needs help with homework, and I've got the little baby, and I've got my wife, and it's like, so normally when everyone's in bed by about 9:30, that's normally when I get to play games. But that idea of, well, why don't you, if you want to stream and play games that you want to play at the set, I mean, that's a cracking idea, really, isn't it? Why not play the games that you would be playing anyway and just have a chuckle while you do it?
Exactly. Totally agree.
I reckon
we should all pick a game for you. I know Ryan will pick you something to do with Britain. Donkey Kong there.
Yeah, do you want to pick one now? We'll pick one now. Pick one each.
Dance Revolution.
Oh dear.
I'm going to pick a sensible one. I'll pick a sensible one.
Okay, I'm going to pick Pop Idol on PlayStation 2. So that you can create Rick Waller on it and relive his journey.
Oh dear.
What this?
I'm actually writing this down, by the way.
Oh dear, Ryan's just lost himself to his own joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Ryan, focus. Come on.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll let you go.
Oh, I'll have to come back to me. Let me have a think. Yeah, come back to me. Move to the left or to the right.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think. Oh, well, someone else has got to go first, so I could have like an idea. I can't be put on the spot and come up with any game.
All right,
there's too many games in the world. Too many games in the world.
I'm gonna go for, I don't know. I'm sure you'll find a way of getting hold of whatever game it is. I got Blunners to play this a little while back, and I don't think we ever actually got to talk about it properly after we sort of used to challenge each other to play games. But Hook on the Super Nintendo.
Okay, interesting choice.
It's one of those games that I've got a real nostalgic love for, even though the controls are a little bit janky, and it's really really difficult. But there's just something about that game that I really enjoy. It is a good platformer, but it's a bit broken.
Do you know what? That's the problem. Is I've often found, like, it's like most things, right? You look back at it with like tinted lenses, and you go, "Oh, they were the days," and then you go back and play a game and go, "This is awful. How did I enjoy this as a kid?"
Yeah.
It's hit and miss. Sometimes you go back to play a game, you play those again, it's still great. But there are times you go back. Like the one that I was really disappointed with was, do you ever play I can't remember what it's called. It's the follow-up to Flashback. I think it's called Fade to Black.
Yeah.
And the story carries on just after Flashback, and you with the same guy. And I remember playing that and absolutely loving it. It's a brilliant game. And I went to go play it fairly recently, probably like a year or so ago, and the controls are just awful. And I was like at the beginning in this corridor, trying to get around the corridor to shoot this alien, and I was just like, the controls are dreadful. And I played it for about 10 minutes, and I was like, actually, I'm not going to bother playing this because it's really bad. But I had such fond memories of playing that game originally. But yeah.
It is. Do you know what? It's a shame because I actually think I would actually like to see someone take that game and redo it, because I think the premise of it, and I mean, to be honest, I remember playing it on the PC, and I don't remember ever seeing another game that kind of had that. Well, it wasn't quite over the shoulder. It was actually like behind the character, wasn't it? Yeah. I can't remember of another PC game that did that at that time, because it is quite an old game. But yeah, I remember that exact point, because there's a door that you open and there's a dude literally around the corner. And I remember as a kid just being like, has someone miscoded this? Like, genuinely, like, I must have died in that corridor about 1,000 times. I'm like, can we fix the game, please?
I tell you what, that would be one of my games, actually. A game that I played around the same time that I really enjoyed, that I think is probably not an over popular game because it's not great, but I just personally really enjoyed it. And that's Pitfall 3D Beyond the Jungle. Ooh. If you haven't seen that, that's what my game I'd like to see a stream, because it's just one of those random games I just really actually enjoy playing. But it's quite fun. It's hard though; you just fall off of stuff all the time. It's like a clunky 3D platformer.
Sounds right up my street.
Yeah, give you some Japanese game when you talk. That's all you need to give up, a Japanese game. You'd be like,
yeah, I'll give you. I can't remember what I gave you.
You gave me some weird like Japanese text game that you couldn't even read.
Yeah,
and Google Lens out to try and read it.
Yeah, that was a good one. But my pick for your stream would be. No, I'm going to pick a nice one. Having seen you last night, I'd like to see you play Alien Isolation.
Oh, I've actually played that before, but I would actually do a playthrough of that in VR.
Yes,
it's
because that game in VR is 100% brown pants.
Yeah, it is.
There is a lot of random pants checks going on during that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bad enough just playing it in normal mode, but yeah, it's amazing. I've completed it a couple of months back now, and it's one of those games that I just loved playing. Absolutely loved it.
It is really
so
special.
I'd love to watch you play that.
Have you done
me and Dobbs have said this off camera many times, but I actually think Alien Isolation, if you're an Alien fan and you're into the universe and just like the movies, Alien Isolation is borderlining a religious experience. It's the closest thing I think you can have to having one of those like moments where God has spoken to you. It's genuine. I know some people don't like it because it's hard or the save points or there's just something about it they don't like, but if you're into the universe, I actually think it's borderlining a perfect game.
I feel like I need to do this. Hang on, let me see if this is going to work. You see, now I can talk to you like this. Hopefully,
God,
in isolation, you peasant.
I was going to ask, have you played Resident Evil 7 in VR?
Yes, once, never again.
Yeah,
once, yeah.
Oh, I loved it. We had a poll in our group the other day about best horror games, because we're getting into October. We're chatting about horror games, and I would put there's a lot of votes for Silent Hill. Obviously, I think Silent Hill I would put up there as a really good horror franchise. But for me, Resident Evil 7 just tipped it over the edge, just because that one game out of the series, because it was terrifying. It was such a good game to play. And I actually keep going back and doing it again. I tell you what, I had a moment. I did the do you ever do it on like the Madhouse mode where you go back to having the tapes?
Yeah.
There's a moment in that, because I played obviously the game through all the way, so I knew where everything was. And there's the bit where you go into the garage and Jack's after you. I'm like, right, I need to go over to the workbench, grab the key, jump in the car, and put the cat. It's not a spoiler. Go over to the workbench, and instead of the key, it's a locked box that the key's in. And literally, I was like, "Dad, what am I supposed to do here?" And then I turn around, Jack's behind me. It's like, I didn't know. Oh, they just got to killed.
I've got a funny story about Resident Evil 7. So I got it I think it was day of release, if I remember right. And I was all excited, and I was at work. And everyone's like, "Oh, are you going to play it tonight?" I was like, "Yeah." So I got home, and I live alone. And I've got some smart bulbs. So I've got some Philips Hue bulbs all over my flat. And what they do is they come on at sunset and they go off anytime between 10:30 and midnight. So I was sitting in my living room. I had the lights a little bit dimmed, just enough, And because Blunner said it, spoilers. There is a section when you're creeping around a box and there's this horrible woman looking for you. And she's like, "I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna go rip your face out," and all that. So I'm like creeping around. I took one wrong step, and what happens is she screams, runs at the screen, and the entire screen goes black. As that happened, the lights in my house went off, and I went, "No, fuck it!" I threw the pad, and just went to bed. And all I could hear was like noises around. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What's that? What's that?" The whole night, I just didn't sleep. It was awful.
Amazing.
I did a speed run of it just afterwards. So when I first did that bit with Marguerite, I was like, "That's a really hard bit," and you're going around really carefully. And after I'd beaten the game, I wanted to go back and do it. I think if you do it under a certain amount of time, you unlock like speed shoes or so. There's an item you unlock for doing it under a certain amount of time. I thought, I'll do that. And I looked up some advice online, and literally the bit of Marguerite, you just run past her and get out. And I spent ages on that, finding it really hard because I was hiding, wait till part, literally just go. And she sees, she goes, "You." She has a little lantern. She's like, "I'm gonna get you, you son of a bitch." It's like, you just ignore her and carry on. I spent ages on that bit.
You run past and go, "Give me your lantern."
Well,
See ya.
Just while we're on the topic of horror games, and we're sort of derailed, but at least we derailed onto video games.
I've got a really big sort of idea in a minute, so I just want to build the suspense. Yeah.
Something else I can throw at you, that just because I saw one of my mates is really big into Resident Evil, so there is a thread to this. Someone's remade the original Resident Evil with the original graphics in first person.
Oh,
and I think you can't play the full game because it's fan made, but they've made a huge portion of the game. The zombies look a little bit, but I'll see if I can find the link. I don't know, but I'm sure it's something people can freely download. But it looked incredible to just sort of walk around and play. but in like old PS1 graphics and stuff. I thought, crap, there's some really talented people out there making all this stuff. And
that's what I've really enjoyed recently. Like you're saying, like old graphics in VR. On like the Oculus Quest, you can get a lot of like modded stuff on there. So I'm playing like some Virtual Boy stuff on there at the moment. But there's also like Quake, so you can play Quake in VR, but it's like the original graphics. And you'd think it would be really too blurry, but it actually works really well. Like someone's put a lot of effort into making that, I reckon. Yeah, it's really good.
I did a stream of the original Half-Life in VR, and that was quite an experience.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, you're getting the original graphics that, by today's standards are very blocky, but it worked really well. Having the crowbar and being able to hit people over hit the crabs over the head and stuff like that. It was a very weird, surreal experience. But the problem is it struggled with things like, the elevator buttons. We had to kind of like press them. Obviously, in the game, you just walk up and click a button and it does it. But there, you had to be like pixel perfect. So you've got like this weird hand thing, like, come on. Oh, there we go. Now it works. And it was quite an experience. But it was actually quite terrifying because you've got just things flying at you. And obviously, when you're playing it in normal games, you're like, it looks naff. The graphics are a bit pants. But when you're getting it in VR and you're seeing it in perspective coming at you, it is terrifying. Yeah. Absolutely terrifying.
Go on, Ryan.
Okay, so this is going to cost you no more than £6, and I think between us, you're getting 2 games here, so 2 Twitch streams that you're going to be able to do. So the first one, I found it on eBay. Obviously, I've mentioned it already. You can relive Rick Waller for £2.45. So, can you see that? See the screen?
That's a bargain. Because originally, it was cheap, £30 deal.
That's a buy as well.
£20 nearly, So
you can, redo the Pop Idol success of Rick Waller. So then, once you've done that and you finished with that, I thought, with natural progression, obviously the show that followed Pop Idol, you have got X Factor, the game on PS3, and on that I thought you could recreate Wagner. You could have the big hair.
Did he do better hell? Did he? Did he do that one? I'm sure it's better.
I only know him because of the weird meme that was just him going. That's all I know him from. I think that's him, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure that's him.
It is. So you've got 2 great ideas for Twitch streams there. You can thank me later when they're probably your 2 most successful videos.
Didn't Wagner record a video for one of your mates' weddings?
No, one of my friends got a happy birthday message from Wagner, just him playing bongo, singing happy birthday to him. It popped up on Facebook.
You can hire him for a stag do weekend.
He just comes with you, does he?
Yeah, he just comes with you. Yeah. Do you want a Rick Waller update?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
I think I found him.
Operation Rick.
I think I found him on Facebook. His profile is open, but the last post he put on was December 2019, and it is gutted that Michelle McManus is married, but she looks gorgeous, and wishing her all the best. So I think that is his genuine account. So I've just sent him a message. He hasn't responded yet. If it is, he now works as an exam invigilator. So that's good. And he lives in Leicester. He's from Kent, but he lives in Leicester. A bit of bad news. He's in a relationship, but it's complicated. So that's not good. But I think that's genuinely him.
Okay.
I don't think that's
Dobbs, show it again. Show it again, Dobbs.
I've got a feeling that is genuinely him.
Well, it's a genuine picture of him, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got a feeling that's him. I don't know if that's him. Yeah.
We've fallen into some weird parallel universe.
Well, that escalated quick, didn't it?
Maybe it's not his profile because the earlier posts are quite.
Quick, Ryan, rail it back.
Yeah, well, Dorbs.
We'll have that later.
I won't. Do you want me to show you? I won't read them out. I'll show you what they say.
Go on then. Oh, disgraceful.
So I don't know if that's him or not. I don't know.
Definitely
I was convinced it was, but seeing those, maybe it's not. Maybe if he does a Christmas song, he can use that. He can use his Christmas day. It says the Christmas song.
Quickly pull it back, mate.
Anyway,
Someone
moving on. So moving on.
So
Just
Dean, you're
derailing really quick.
I noticed you're back on YouTube.
Oh dear.
Oh, do you know what? Hey, Ryan, if I put his name into Facebook, do you know what comes up? It's a post you tagged me in where you've put a clip to his YouTube video for "I Will Always Love You."
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Oh dear. Right, good.
Right, anyway.
YouTube, Dean.
Yes.
You're back on YouTube. So you've had a video you uploaded this week with Aidan Half Troll. So tell us a bit about him and the stream that you've done with him.
Yeah, so I used to actually do my podcast similar to how you do yours here. Although because it's just me, it's very difficult because I used to do them live on Twitch, and it's very hard to look at chat and your guest at the same time. And I kind of looked back and was reviewing things, and I wasn't happy that I wasn't giving my guests enough focus. So the last, how many was it? I think Big Boy Barry was the first where I'd recorded them offline. And to be honest, the engagement has been just as good. Sometimes I actually do them as uploads to Twitch and then stream as a rewatch, but I haven't done it on this time around. But yeah, so Aidan is a fantastic streamer for those who haven't been to his channel. He streams all sorts. He's an archaeologist by day, and he actually let that drop on his stream once, and I went, "What?" So we had a great chat about gaming, his Twitch. He actually did a really cool thing where during Christmas he actually read like a Christmas carol and stuff like that, but it was done in like almost like a by the fireside kind of reading. And I mentioned it in the podcast that it was almost very humbling, just to kind of not have the hustle and bustle of Twitch and people screaming in your face and Duba's face popping up and dancing on my stream, So it was quite a nice, relaxed thing, and he's probably going to do it again this Christmas. So I would recommend going popping along because Christmas TV in the UK is a bit crap, and it was just a nice way to finish off Christmas. It was nice and chill, and Aidan's got one of the most amazing voices. Like he's like a Barry White of streaming. Like it's that kind of soothing voice. So yeah, he's fantastic. But it was great having him on, and it's good to be back on YouTube. It's not the content. How can I put this? It's not the content I want to make. There's a lot of other things I want to do. In fact, I've actually got one of them next to me.
Oh, is this an exclusive?
A little bit, yeah. So I picked this up, which is a NVIDIA GeForce. Sorry, it's been keyed out slightly, but it's an NVIDIA GeForce 3D Vision glasses. So 3D TVs, when they were a big thing, some screens, for instance, the one that I've got here, actually support these glasses. So I'm gonna see if I can get this working in 2021. It should work. There is ways of getting it to work, and there's actually a huge community around this as well. And then I'll probably do a video unboxing it and actually showing you guys it. But the one I'm actually working on is working on a NVIDIA Shield handheld and using that in 2021. And that's actually quite a fun experience. I've actually been quite shocked actually how well it runs. So keep an eye on the channel. I just need time to do it. That's all I need. It's literally the one thing holding me back. A lot of the stuff that I'd done before, I had loads of time, but at the moment I'm so just slammed with work, and obviously Twitch takes up a considerable amount of my time as well. So eventually I will get around to it, but I'm making a system where I can basically record, edit, and just export, and then I can just roll off videos really quick. That's the idea anyway.
Okay. And any guests lined up that you can reveal, or are they all under wrap?
Why? Here's why.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
That's
Me and
one.
triangle face. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
There we
So we're currently in talks at the moment. One thing I am trying to go down is the route of video game music. I think it's one area that a lot of people haven't focused on because gameplay and graphics and things like that are so prevalent, and it's we're visual in what we do in terms of enjoying gaming, but the music side, when you have a soundtrack that really hits, it sticks in there.
Yep.
So profound. So there's a few musical artists that I've been talking to that I'm hopefully going to have on as guests very, very soon, including Mick Gordon, the guy who did the music for the most recent Dooms. So I'm very, very excited to have him on very, very soon. So I'm just trying to line everything up. They'll either happen by the end of this year or as of next year, it will really start kicking off from there. So keep an eye out.
The soundtrack to those recent Doom games for me are just good soundtracks. Like I could quite happily just listen to that with all the other metal albums that I listen to. But the I can't think which year was it, 2016 when Doom won like music game part of the year or whatever it was at the awards, and he performed it live with like a couple of mates.
Stunning,
it was just belting. It was so heavy. Unreal.
One soundtrack that people don't realize is he did the soundtrack to the most recent version of Killer Instinct. And that soundtrack is probably one of the finest soundtracks ever. And I know that's a massive thing to say, but if you're into metal, go and listen to it because it is banging.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played that game, I have to say, because it went through a weird phase where you only had like 3 characters and you had to play it a ton to unlock all the other ones. And I just wanted all the characters so I could just beat the shit out of stuff. But it's one I've always wanted to kind of go back to. But oh man, I'm mega excited for that. And that's going to be incredible. What an interview that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I have been incredibly lucky. I mean, I think I said it before, having people like Daniel Pacina on the podcast was just, it was so, honestly, there was moments when I was talking to him where I was like, is this actually happening? This is weird because I'm like unknown dude on Twitch who makes an arse of himself. And you're like the dude who helped make Mortal Kombat, a game that probably nearly every person in the world who's been anywhere near an arcade machine has heard of. So, and I mean, he was just an incredible individual, and I feel incredibly blessed to even be able to talk to some of these people, even people like Alex Very, Big Boy Barry. I mean, for him to give me a portion of his time was amazing. So been incredibly lucky. But I am trying to get more people like Aiden Half Troll and friends and stuff on, because it's not all about talking to the famous people. Sometimes even a friend of mine, a friend of the channel called Games Made of Cardboard, also known as, he's done some incredible stuff. His name's also Late Night Reviews. He keeps flip-flopping between the two names. But for instance, he does a lot of his animations with cardboard and stuff. And as you probably guessed from the name, but he's animated stuff like Doom. He's done Sonic. He's done Mario on the Game Boy. And it's all done with cardboard. And it's animated so well. And he's actually in the process now of making a proper Doom film, but out of cardboard. And the trailer he showed looked outstanding. So I'm telling you now, and I've actually spoken to Bill recently. He showed me a clip of what he's done, and I was like, dude, this is going to be huge when it's done. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And in fact, he's going to be a returning guest to talk about it. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Quality.
No, this sounds really good. And your channel, I did pop it on the screen just a minute ago, but I'm going to put it on there again. So everyone who's watching this video today or watching it in the future, then do subscribe to Dean's channel. It's he's got some great content on there, and as he's just said, he's got some amazing guests lined up as well. You can just see there, just that top screen there.
Yeah.
My favorite video at the bottom right there. Get in, have it, Barry. Have it.
It's a really well made video, and
is that the one at is it Blackpool Expo?
Play Expo in 2019.
Yeah, that is a fantastic video. Because
do you know it was actually the fastest video I've ever made.
Really? Because it's so good. Because it just like talks about like your time on Games World and then how you felt, and then going to Blackpool Expo. Such a good video.
I'll tell you what, honestly, the stars really aligned that day. And again, it was just one of those things where for years I always thought, will there come a day when I get to meet Alex and stuff like that, and will I ever be able to do, redeem myself? And then this moment I heard he was there. It was. I think I said it last time on the podcast. Like everyone just saw my demeanor completely change. And they were like, "You're right, mate." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I didn't sleep that whole night because I was like, I need to kick his ass and redeemed 30 years of pain. That needs to happen. But I still love you, Alex. It's fine.
Yeah, he's a legend. Legend.
Yeah, top man, definitely. Before we move on to the next topic, I have got a Rick Waller update, which might help you, Duba.
Oh, okay.
He's now going by the name Richard Waller.
Okay, Rich. Okay.
Yeah, so that may help you. I've just read a
So,
news
are you
article.
saying that profile that wanted a Christmas something is fake? Is that what
Possibly. But he's now, he's grown up. He's going by the name Richard. So, yeah,
okay.
and yeah, so you might be able to find him. He's now single as well. Anyone interested?
Okay.
He was recently dumped by a pagan. So it's also very interesting. So there we go.
If we theoretically, if Dorbs actually manages to find him, what are we asking him to do? Just sing a song for us live on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Christmas special. Christmas special. Otherwise,
so I know where we're going with this. It's fine.
Otherwise, the other option, and I've looked it up, is Wagner, which is £10 to play the bongos and sing us a Christmas song. So
you know what? Genuinely, I will pay for that. I will genuinely pop up the money for that.
Why don't we do it? Why don't we do it?
I think we should do it, definitely.
Yeah. Does he? Can you request a song for him to play?
I guess so. I was thinking like Last Christmas.
We'll have to get our money's worth, won't we? We'll have to get our money's worth, so it'll have to be quite a long one.
Like Bohemian
Quite a long
Rhapsody.
song. Yeah.
No, it's got to be Christmas. We're going to go for a Christmas.
Yeah, but
Christmas
Bohemian
one.
Rhapsody was a Christmas #1, so.
Yeah,
Or The Power
I
of
know.
Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's quite a long song, isn't it?
Brian, bring it back. We're
Or
derailing again.
Stay Another Day, 17. That would be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So something to think about. Anyway, Dean, you can let us know what song you'd like us to contribute or get from Wagner if we can't get hold of Richard Waller in the near future. Anyway, just move on to the next topic, which is kind of relates to you, Dean, because you're a childhood star of Games World, and we've got the return of Games Master. I can't say that I know who any of is it 3 presenters they've announced. What are your thoughts on that, Dean?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually know one of the. Well, I say I know. I distantly know one of the presenters who's going to be on there, and it's the woman presenter. And I think they are actually going to do very well. But I think it will be initially met with a lot of backlash. People don't like change, right? And this has happened before, where people have tried to take the old and reinvent it into the new, and people don't like the change; they want the old format back. But you've got to remember that they're not only trying to bring back Games Master, they're trying to expose it to new people, right? And you've got to think there's obviously a lot more younger kids than there are people of our generation. So, you've got to talk to a wider demographic, which I think is why they've gone with this kind of setup of presenters rather than the original. Will it work? I mean, I hope it does, because who knows? Maybe it will kick off a Games World revival. Just saying. I would love to see that, but I was skeptical of it. And, I look at things from a distance. I think initially I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. But then I took a step back and said, well, what else is there right now? There's nothing really else out there in the market at the moment. And I think there she is. There's Frankie. I think it can work, but I think people just need to give it a chance rather than just shooting it down before it's even started. But I think the setup is actually not as bad as people think.
That's a very common thing, though, isn't it? With anything actually now, anything new, it's just the immediate reaction is, oh, it's going to be shit. You get it with movies, don't you? As soon as they announce, oh, it's going to be terrible.
Always gone.
Do you know it's going to be terrible? You're just hoping it's terrible, or I've never really understood. I mean, I'm always a glasses half full kind of guy. I've never really understood people that just want things to be bad so that they can have their opinion validated. Wouldn't you just rather it be really good and you've got another thing to enjoy, and just go in expecting nothing, and then if you get something, well, that's everyone's a winner. If you come out enjoying something even just a little bit, that's fine.
Well, I think Channel 4 have got a good track record, because whatever people say, I think most people think when they've brought back Crystal Maze, it's pretty good. Richard Iredale is decent. It keeps to its roots. It's got some idiot contestants on there who, run in a room. What am I doing? Don't even look at, and I think Channel 4 will make a success of this. Like Dean says, I think it'll be good.
And I think it's where it's like you get probably more like in movies and things like that, where you get a lot of reboots or they bring something old back. And sometimes look at something and think they've changed it so much, why not just make it its own thing? The one with Games Master, they're going to bring it back. The kids watching it are going to not remember Games Master. So you could just call it something different and it'll be a new show that's kind of like a spiritual successor to Games Master. But I think there's obviously marketing teams that could do market research on the brand Games Master and get some data to like, this is how many people we think might watch it. So there's an element of that to it, isn't it? Where if they get a redo something or bring something back, it's part of an existing brand or an existing franchise. It's like a lot of games, isn't it? Loads of games franchises start. There's look at something like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed. Loads of those games could have just been unique standalone games, but they just whack the Assassin's Creed thing on it. So let's shoehorn it into this franchise because we know that there is a market for that franchise because it already exists. So, okay, part of me kind of wishes they didn't call it Games Master, just to take completely new, but I kind of get why they do that. But as long as it's good, I like it.
Because it's called Games Master, we're talking about it. So
yeah,
exactly.
True. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I think the other thing is that retro has become very popular, right? This whole nostalgia as a whole, whether it be music or games or anything like that, has become this kind of, I still hear of people, like even when I was back in my office, talking about old retro games and stuff like that because of obviously my Twitch streams and stuff like that. But I think the other thing that we forgot is that, people like Frankie, who you just showed, she's got a massive following because of things like the events that she goes to. I think she does a lot of Counter-Strike commentary from memory. And obviously Counter-Strike is still a massive, massive pull in terms of its game. So obviously all of that audience is then going to be ported over. I think Top Gear did a gaming show, didn't they? But it was exclusive to Facebook, if I remember rightly. And exactly. So not many people actually knew about it, but it was a great show. It was actually really, really entertaining. And in fact, Mr. Why Here's Why was actually on it.
Really?
Yeah, which is how I knew about it. But so I think people need to just take it for what it is. It isn't going to be how we loved and remembered it a long time ago. Although I was more of a Games World fan, but don't tell anyone. I think people just need to give it a chance. And I know people are like, oh, well, it isn't original presenter. Oh, well, the format isn't going to be like this. But as you said, I think there's definitely going to be a nostalgia pool, and I can definitely see there being a retro section in there because they would be silly not to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'd quite like to see. Do you ever see the Game Theory channel did a brief series called Game Lab? Where I think they had like a bigger budget. Is on that YouTube. I can't remember what it's called now. There's like a YouTube platform. There's like a paid for content. I don't know if it's still around now. YouTube Red. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of is still around now. But I watched a few of those, and they basically were taking like stuff that was in games and just trying it in real life to see if it worked. And I think they had one which was like doing what's the game where you're basically playing football with cars. That was
Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yeah, they just basically tried to do Rocket League. Like, can you play football in cars? And they just went and did it because they had a budget. They got enough. They could do stuff like obviously like in Top Gear. It's a very similar format, isn't it? They get a celebrity on, they do the track and things like that. But then they go off and do some sort of weird challenge. I think that'd be quite a cool thing to see on a show like Games Master. They go off and say, I think they did things like they tried to do like chocobo racing, and they basically tried to ride emus or ostriches or something. Because that's the closest thing you get to a chocobo. Brilliant. Can you do it? It's quite interesting, actually. There's some really funny stuff on that program, so that's worth checking out. Game Lab. But yeah, I'd like to see something like that on there. They get the budget to do that sort of thing.
They could audition for Pop Idol if they brought it back and then relive the Pop Idol game, couldn't they?
Even bloody Pop Idol.
So who? Oh, go on.
I was going to say one thing I'm keen to see though is actually will they bring on just like random members of the public to come on and do challenges, because obviously I know they're going to have celebrities involved. I think to begin with it's just celebrities, but I quite like the punters going in and giving it a go. It'd be good that they would include that.
Have they named the celebrities?
I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of. No,
because I hope it is like I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't want it to be like celebrities.
Well,
no, that's a bona fide celebrity. But I think
it's not going to be Bruce Willis, is it? Let's be honest.
No, but I don't want to see like people like
he's in a lot of games though. He could play his own games, couldn't he?
Bruce
Get
Willis playing
Macaulay
Die Hard
Culkin
trilogy.
come on, yeah. Have Macaulay Culkin come on and play the Home Alone games.
I don't want to see these people who are in like Made in Chelsea or Essex, whatever it's bloody called.
Yeah.
It will be though,
proper
Yeah.
celebrities.
You know it will be though that type of people though.
I don't know. Get your Noel Edmonds in there. I'd like to see him. No, probably no. He's a legend.
Noel Edmonds of all the celebrities.
He just jumped into my head. Or I don't know. Hugh Grant. He'd be a good one. Because the old show had like proper celebrities, didn't they? They had like Chris Armstrong was on it, for example. As a
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw, of course.
Sharp.
Yeah, so decent celebrities, not like no disrespect, but no.
Sean Bean playing GoldenEye would be brilliant.
Yeah,
that would be good. I like it.
Or Sean Bean versus Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye.
Yes, I'd watch that.
Or
hire me, Games Master.
Rick Waller playing himself on Pop Idol on PlayStation 2.
It could happen. It could happen, couldn't it?
Well, since you mentioned him, do you want a Rick Waller update?
Yeah. Just before you do that, I just want to welcome Cabbage Face Bricks, who's one of my best mates. He snapped his Achilles the other week, so he's in a real bad way. So I hope you get better soon. You've joined us for it's turned into a bit of a Rick Waller stream tonight, so hopefully you're a fan. But anyway, glad you joined.
I've found a Facebook profile, and his name is Richard Waller, and I think it is the genuine one because it is pictures of him. And it looks like he's at home. He actually lives in Sittingbourne. He's actually got Twitch. He's actually on Twitch.
Wow, it's come full circle. It's come full circle.
I'm seeing a collab with Me Machine Dean coming up here.
Yeah,
doing Pop Idol.
He's too big for me, mate. He's much more highbrow than I am. Oh, do you know what I've just spotted? Did I ever tell you about the story of the Sex Partners disc?
No.
Right. I have to show you this. Hang on, let me just deactivate my background blur for a minute. There we go. So I have this.
Let me put you on solo. Like, yep.
There you
go. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Sex Partners. So this disc was given to me by what used to be a channel called Retro Set, which has now been changed names. But this disc was given to me. It's for the Amiga, but I can't get it loaded at the moment. But I've also tried to do some research and can't seem to find anything about it. So I think it's just a list of someone's conquests, and then they've put it on disc.
You need to know what's on the disc. You still got an Amiga? A proper Amiga?
Well, actually sat next to me is my Amiga 600. So yes.
And it won't load the disc?
It won't load it, but I have got an external drive that I've actually got off someone. So at some point I will literally take the disc and see if I can go line by line and read whatever the hell is on it, because I'm just fascinated. It could be blank. To be honest, it was absolutely filthy when I got it. So
I dread to think
maybe Rick Waller had it over Christmas. Who knows? Right. Anyway, you can have that, Jake.
So we'll have another Rick Waller update or Richard Waller update.
I think it is him, but we'll have one in like 10-15 minutes.
All right, drop him a DM and see if he.
I have.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's already gone straight in there. We're talking about your live on YouTube tonight. So with Games Master, going back to topic, who do we think will be the Games Master? I know Dave Perry's name's been mentioned. Dominic Diamond's been mentioned. He is out in Canada at the moment, I believe, but he could still film those scenes, can he, from there? Any other thoughts on who it could be?
I saw that Dave... Go on, you go.
Oh, talking over you, dude. You go first.
I just saw Dave Perry say that they had been in contact with him, but he wasn't asked to be involved in the way that he would want. So I don't know what that means. So either they sort of suggested to him that he could be the face of Games Master and he didn't want to, or vice versa. I don't know. But I did see him comment that they had been in contact, but he wasn't asked to be involved in the way he wanted to. But he said, anything can happen. I think he's still interested, but they didn't want him to do what he wanted to do.
Trevor McDonald. That'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
That would be a good one.
David Attenborough. Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going down the bookies.
Yeah.
I'm going down the bookies and putting both of them down tomorrow.
I mean, it's quite difficult to beat Trevor McDonald. I mean, that would be a cracking Games Master.
I think David Attenborough would work. Actually, I would watch that.
I've just thought of one.
Go on, Duba. Come on.
Because I've just started to watch the series on TV. Richard Wilson, Victor Meldrew.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Yeah. Have you got any cheat codes? I don't believe it.
Is he? I don't mean to be rude, but is he actually still with us?
He is. Yeah.
He is. Okay, fine.
He is. Yeah.
Oh no, he died in the series, didn't he?
Yeah. He got. I don't spoil it for. Well, it's 20 years old.
That's right.
Yeah. He got run over.
We'll be all right.
I would quite like to see Patrick Stewart.
What, reincarnated? Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking of Patrick Moore. Sorry, carry on. Yes, although that is a good shout, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's normally up for a chuckle, isn't he? He normally does things for a laugh and that sort of thing. And I think he'd probably see like the fun side to it. So Patrick Stewart for me would be.
I don't know why I got this like weird gut feeling it's going to be something weird like Ricky Gervais or something.
For some reason, in my head, I've got Sean Williamson, Barry from EastEnders. I don't know why that has gone straight into my head. I don't know where that has even come from.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if they'll present Games Master in the same way. Like, do you reckon they're going to have like just the face with all the stuff around it? They could do something completely different. Don't know.
Or it should be Noel Edmonds. Get Noel Edmonds in it.
Noel, Mr. Blobby, like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you could have captions on there as well. I think it'd be a good one. Yeah, Noel Edmonds.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're all going to take a sweepstake on who we think is actually going to be the Games Master. Okay.
I think we should.
Yeah. Any thoughts in the chat? Let us know. I'll be interested to see what who other people think it's likely to be. But when does it start? Is it later this year or is it not till early next year? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure that they actually announced it yet.
They haven't announced anything. No, so it'll be next year at least.
Sure, a quick Google will.
I know they said it's going to be on like the E4 YouTube, I think, to begin with, isn't it? It's not going to go straight to TV. I think it's going to be on the E4 YouTube first.
Okay, well, whilst you look,
they'll test the waters on that and then potentially get onto TV afterwards.
Whilst you look for that, I'm just going to give you a bit of a Wagner update. So I've found his website where you can request the videos for £10, so you can see that
his face.
But there's added extras. Look, I went into it. Personalised video, £10. Oh, my internet's not going to work now, is it? Brilliant. Wagner's. So you got Christmas.
Someone's just said an absolutely brilliant suggestion, which is Ian McKellen for Games Master. I agree with that.
Yeah, no, that would be good. That would be good.
24 quid?
Well, look, if we want him to sing his own song, sing a few lines from a song of your choice, 15 quid extra. So we could put Last Christmas or whatever we want.
Would you like to play the box? Yes. Sing Happy Birthday. Oh, he could sing Happy Birthday Jesus. That'd be nice.
So we're up to about 50 quid now getting Wagner to do that.
I need to give up. I need to give up Twitch and join what? Fame Link? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Call Duber a mug. 50 quid. Done.
I'll do it myself.
So you've got Ian McKellen. That is a good shout. Anyway, Duber, sorry, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I've got a bit of bad news.
Oh.
I've just gone on Rick Waller's Twitch, and unfortunately, it's not available.
Oh.
Actually, let me share. Can I share?
Or has it been banned?
No,
you should be able to. I think you can share. I just need to pop up, and then I just click yes.
Amazing. Rick Waller updates.
Here we go. Add to stream.
Oh. Can you see that?
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately,
he's no longer doing it.
It's no longer doing it. So that's very, very, very sad. I'm not happy about that.
Oh well, that collab won't happen. I'm so upset.
What could have been?
Very sad.
Yeah.
That would have been a great stream.
No, it wouldn't.
Right, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Nintendo Ollie for the next topic because this is something he wanted to talk about. So So I'm just going to hand over to you.
Which one have you got? Is there a little thing?
I've got this one.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, it was just Nintendo's recent what do they call them? Treehouse or Directs. And yeah, they sort of dropped the bomb that they're going to be releasing a plethora of really half decent N64 games and a plethora of half decent Mega Drive games, and then wireless controllers so that you can get, I guess, the most realistic experience of playing it on a good system with modern with the old controls as well. I just wondered what everyone's thoughts on that were going to be, because it's I don't know, is it a good move? What do people think?
I hate commenting about things like this, but I'll try and remain impartial. I see it as a bit of a cash grab. I know that sounds horrible to say, but
not at all.
In the grand scheme of things of what Nintendo have done with the Switch, I mean, I don't think it's been as the big blockbuster that everyone's expected it to be. And you can't really compare the Switch to the PS5 and the Xbox and PC gaming. I think it's a completely separate individual platform, right? But going back to the online platform itself, they have not invested any money in improving that at all in the 4 years that it's been around. And what frustrates me is that they think that offering people free games is the fix for that. And don't get me wrong, everybody loves free games. I think that the online service price is acceptable for what they do, and the games that they've been giving so far, I think, are, for the most part, pretty good. There are a couple on this Snes one where you'd raise an eyebrow and go, I'm not quite sure about that. But I still see it as a bit of a nostalgia cash grab, where rather than focusing on things like their huge IP that they've got of just a multitude of different games that they could focus on, they're just tapping into the old nostalgia thing. And unfortunately, I can just see the Switch becoming this brilliant retro handheld console and not what it was designed to be. And that's not to say that it's necessarily a bad thing, but people got very excited. But the problem is that once those games are there, how often are Nintendo going to be updating it? Because in some cases, it took them a very long time to update, the NES games and the SNES games that were on that platform. So I see it. Yeah, it's going to be good. Everybody loves free games, but Nintendo need to follow up with a more consistent thing. If it's once a month, they're going to stick to a routine of adding games onto it, and it's something for people to look forward to. I think that works, but I really fear that they don't really know what to do with the platform, and they're just constantly going for this cash grab element, and I don't like that. It really infuriates me. But at the end of the day, it's a business. They're there to make money. I appreciate that, but things like the control pads, do you really need that? I mean, I've got a 8-bit do control pad that looks like a SNES, and to be honest, that absolutely rinses the pads that they've made for the platform. So yeah, it's one of those ones where I sit on the fence from afar and watch and see what happens. The games that they announced are good, but I just fear that if they don't do it right, there's going to be a huge backlash, because people will be like, "Oh, you're never releasing the games that I want. Oh, this isn't available," and stuff like that. Because gamers are just cynical old bastards and they're never happy. So so that's the thing that worries me, is that the platform is not what people were expecting. This Friday we've got a new Metroid game. So happy to see that. So happy to see a proper game come out. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of indie titles on that platform that are equally just as good. But to just be constantly going after that cash grab of getting people to join their platform purely on the basis of just their retro thing. I mean, how many years did it take them to get Bluetooth connectivity on the console?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
It's just incredibly frustrating that, from my point of view, Nintendo have got a brilliant platform and have massively underutilized it, only on the basis of basically going through their historical IPs of like, oh, well, we've got this massive plethora of retro games. Let's just flood the market full of it and then make something of it. And it's like, that's great. Give us something new as well. Like Metroid is new. But we need more of that, announcing a brand new fighter in Smash Bros. Obviously got a lot of hype, but that's the end now. That game is essentially finished because there's nothing else to announce. So what's the next big IP that's coming? Nobody knows really.
Yeah, there's the frustrating thing I think with Nintendo, and I do share your sort of, I guess, view on that. I mean, I'm a very big Nintendo fan. They've always kind of got me hooked in for life now because it is just nostalgia for me. But yeah, the Switch, whilst it is an incredible console and an incredible achievement, I mean, I'm just sort of looking over at my Switch games now. There's quite a few of them that I had on the Wii U, and I've kind of just rebought because I can play them on the go. And I kind of appreciate with the Wii U it didn't sell well. There's loads of amazing games on the Wii U that people have not gone to play. So the best thing they can do now is the Switch has done really well. Right, let's bash that game out on the Switch so people can play it. And I do get that as an idea, but yeah, you're right. There's some massive IPs that are just not being touched. I mean, the big one for me, and I'm convinced that it's just never going to come out, is Mario Kart 9. It's never going to happen because people are still buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. It's still like one of the top selling games in the country today. That game is so old, and it's great to have it on the Switch because you can play it on the go, and it's an incredible kart game. But I want Mario Kart 9. I want people to stop buying Mario Kart 8 so that I can play Mario Kart 9. And I know historically they don't release more than one, maybe two Mario games on a system at a go if you're lucky. And Mario Odyssey was everything I wanted it to be in terms of a 3D Mario game. I'd kind of like another one. I don't, having Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, like it was cool to play that again, but I'd like another Mario game, something that's completely different. Mario 3D World 2, do something else rather than just re-release the same one. And yeah, the new update does kind of. I'm sort of with you. It's sort of sat me on the fence a little bit with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I kind of thought back to the original Game Boy. I know that sounds crazy to say, but the original Game Boy had a very, very large amount of back catalogue, right? There was a lot of games released for the Game Boy. Some great, some crap. But at the end of the day, there was such a wide variety that there was almost a game for everybody that someone could go away and pick up and play and stuff like that. And as you said, this attitude of rinse and repeat can only last so long. And I feel like that momentum is really starting to really hinder them, because I know friends who have had the Switch and they're just like, I'm bored of it. It sits in the corner and I may pick it up and play it for 10 minutes. And I know that's kind of what it was essentially designed to do, but I don't know what is going on with Nintendo. It's other things like, for instance, I don't know what you describe it as, the full HD game streaming type thing that they've been doing. So they did it with Hitman and Control were the two games that they've done it with.
Cloud-based.
Yeah, the cloud-based stuff works, but I actually think if they had pulled off a massive coup with, for instance, Microsoft, where they had Game Pass doing that cloud gaming with that, complete game changer. That is complete game changing. And the fact that they haven't really gone a lot more harder with that is kind of surprising. But is it, if, as you said, people are out still buying older games, as it were, for the Wii U and as things as such, if people are going to keep buying it, then Nintendo are going to go, well, let's just milk the cow until it's dry and then do something else. But it's a shame because it really is hindering that platform. And it's such a shame because I have a love-hate relationship with that thing, because every time I pick up the Switch, I generally have a smile, but then I look at the games and I'm like, it needs something else. It really needs something else.
I think this year specifically, other than Animal Crossing, which came out, well, they didn't even come out this year, did they? They came out last year. 2020 and 2021 is just the same year for me now, I'm convinced. I mean, that coming out at that time, I don't think it was you couldn't have planned a better game for people not being able to do anything. It was perfect. But other than Animal Crossing, I can't. I mean, I'm looking at my games now. I can't think of
Nintendo.
What was Nintendo's big first party release last year, other than Animal Crossing? I genuinely can't think of one. But lots of games came out on the Switch.
Yeah, my daughter's got a Switch and she's got Donkey Kong, but I think that's just a Wii U game, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of Wii U ones just re-released. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like you say, Dean.
Got
It's
Pokemon coming, haven't they?
yeah, but that's that's
Oh
next
yeah.
One other thing, and I think this is a very important thing that a lot of people overlook. A lot of people have very tinted lenses when it comes to the N64. And I know this is probably going to wind a lot of people up, but I went through a lot of the back catalogue in the N64, and there are very few very good games for that. And the problem is most of the good games are now owned by either big corporate companies, privately owned companies, or they will never be released because of a variety of different things. Like, in my mind, I was straight away like, GoldenEye on the Switch, make that online. You've got a license to print money. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Mm.
The GoldenEye IP, as far as I'm aware, is owned by some random private consortium or something. So basically, they're never going to release it. So it's like, well, that's DOA straight away. And then you start thinking down the catalog, and you're like, okay, so like Nintendo for a period released, Mario 64 on the Switch, and it's like, okay, so we've got that back. So that you've kind of gone through like all of the really great games, and then you're like, so what have we got left? Not that much, really. So that's the thing, is like everyone was jumping up and down about the N64 games, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about this, guys. You may have picked the wrong platform.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I think a lot of Nintendo consoles, like the N64, the Wii, the Wii U, a lot of them had some core brilliant games. There'd be like a really good Mario Kart game, a 3D Mario game, a 2D side-scrolling Mario, a Zelda game, a Pokemon game, and like Super Smash Brothers. You got all of those games would be excellent. Then there wouldn't be a heck of a lot else with that. So each console, you can have a really decent collection for each of those consoles, is like a stack of like 10 games. You wouldn't need like loads and loads of games to really get a lot out of that console. So yeah, I think that's sort of things. But I was gonna say the just cycling back a little bit to the controllers. I was thinking about the control pads, and I don't see why I'd want to get a Mega Drive control pad for it, because I don't feel like that's a unique enough controller to warrant me buying. I'm happy just playing on the Switch control pad. Don't think I need that. With the N64 controller, I do feel like if I'm playing an N64 game, I'd want to play it on an N64 controller because it's such a unique joypad. But if I wanted to play N64 games, I'm going to want to do multiplayer. And do I really want to buy 4 of those N64 controllers for my Switch? Or do I just want to play my N64, which I've still got? So that's the thing that just it just tips me off about that. So I can't bother. Unless I had like a community of people I played a lot online with, and I was like, I'm going to play this online. And like you mentioned, GoldenEye. If that was the situation, like, you know what, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the controller. I'm going to play GoldenEye online on the Switch. But that's not what we got. So
I've never understood, especially with Nintendo being that they're normally quite good at thinking of good ways to make money. They've got the market that people will just literally throw money at them. I'm much more reserved now than I was, but I've never quite understood why they've not ever developed. I know they've tried to do it with the minis, and the mini systems were very popular, and they still are very popular, but I've still never quite understood why they haven't just gone and made a full-sized HDMI NES and just gone, you can buy it from the Nintendo store only. It's $150, £150. People will, I'd pay for it. I'd buy it. But they could release every single one of their systems right up to GameCube if they really wanted to, an HDMI GameCube, and just really put money into the people that have got the old games that want to play them on the hardware, and give people that ability to do that. Because it's, I don't know, I've just never wondered why they've never done that. Because the mini consoles are great, but I'm limited with the games they put on there. And to be fair, the games they put on the mini ones they're very good. It's worth buying for Earthbound alone, because I'm never going to be getting an Earthbound cartridge in my lifetime.
So I think if I put my corporate hat on for a minute, I would say that, I mean, I'm not going to estimate how much it costs to manufacture a Switch, but I bet it's a lot less than what probably the figure is in your head. So with that in mind, if you then have to kind of, I guess, to a certain extent, well, it depends how they want to do it. If they wanted to make a full-size NES, in my mind, they would probably have to go out and just either acquire or get a license from someone who's made a very good emulator and then add their own twist to it and then load it full of games, or they would have to just reverse engineer a physical, the physical version and do that. The problem is they're probably sitting there going, well, if we do that, it's going to cost us a lot of money, or we could just flood our store full of NES games and people can just play them on the go. Because part of the problem is the casual market even on mobile phones, is still the biggest gaming market of all. And
Yeah.
the problem is when you're dealing with people like ourselves who are enthusiasts in retro, you know, we'll sit there and play games for hours, right, on the NES or whatever. The average person, they'll probably pick up Mario Kart, do one race, and then they'll sack it off the rest of the day. That's the problem of what you're dealing with is the ROI of them actually making a whole console and investing all of that money when really they can just go, well, we've got an official ROM of this, we'll just put it on our store and we'll make a load of money because people will buy our online platform.
Yeah,
I think that's the top and tail of it.
Yeah, it does just come down to wish lists, doesn't it? It's, you know, when people talk about their, you know, their favorite, you know, Star Wars was a massive one, wasn't it? When people talk about how Star Wars should have gone, yeah, it's the same thing with gaming, isn't it? People always want the, you know, a nice up to date version or you know, way to play the original hardware. And I guess
totally agree.
But
so from the list of games that are coming out, you've got Zelda, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario, Star Fox, Yoshi's Story, and then you've got was it Winback? What do you mean? I don't ever remember that being a title that anyone would want to play.
Probably still not now either.
Yeah, I never had an N64, but everyone always says the wrestling games on the N64 are amazing. But there's no chance that they're ever going to be re-released, are they?
No.
But it's funny you mention that because, like, for instance, who was it? I think it was Top Hat Gaming Man, friend of your channel and mine. He did a lot of videos about some of the mods for like some of those N64 wrestling games, and they are
great,
insanely detailed. Like, and the thing is like I absolutely adore WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, and when I see people are still till this day making very, very, very modern mods for it, it's just, I mean, I played one of them and I was like, this is like a brand new game. This is insane. Like, people have actually gone and actually done this off their own back. So I God, if I could play No Mercy on the Switch.
I love it.
That would be appealing. That would definitely be appealing if you could do that. Especially if you play it online. If you could play that online, imagine as well, because in No Mercy you had the things that you could make the belts, couldn't you? And they did try to do this in one of the SmackDown games. You could make a belt and play it online, couldn't you? You could actually have a belt and you could put it on the line. If you could have that, where a belt would actually have that procedure, you could play it online and actually, you know, potentially lose a belt that you've created. But they could really lock in something there, and I think that would work really well on something like No Mercy. That'd be amazing.
Moving on from, or just detouring slightly from wrestling, because I've just stared up at my N64 collection to see what I would actually like in there. One game they did mention, which I genuinely was a bit annoyed that they didn't put on it at launch, is F-Zero X, which is arguably my favorite racing game because it is just ridiculous. It's absolutely mental. So that, if that's got the, I might be making it up, but I'm sure they said that's going to have online.
That's on there, Banjo-Kazooie.
Are they allowed to own that? I'm sure Microsoft own Banjo-Kazooie, don't they?
They do, but Nintendo they're letting them have it.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that works.
Well, I've never played actually. I never did Banjo-Kazooie.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple of
Clay Fighter 63 and a half.
Oh mate. Superman 64, was it?
Earthworm Jim 3 64. Some classics.
But another one which I'd love to see, which we'll never get to see just because the company doesn't, it's just not there anymore, is it? But I'd love to play Blast Corps on a Switch. That would be great fun. That is, for me, like I know it probably was a game that a lot of people did play, but for me it's still a hidden gem. No one really talks about that game with
I agree.
Like
I've actually got a copy of that.
It's wonderful. What a game. But that was just something that I wanted to bring up. It's quite topical, but it's
that's a good one. I never had a Switch, so I got no input in that. Sorry.
The Switch, they were saying earlier about the Switch just sort of gathers dust. I mean, I haven't played mine for ages because I tend to play mine absolutely incessantly when I've got a game that I'm wanting to play. So when Odyssey came out or the new Zelda comes out, I genuinely will play that almost exclusively until I've finished everything that I want to do in it, and then it just goes back in the charging dock, and that's it. I won't touch it until the next big Nintendo.
I'm definitely the same. I'll cycle through my consoles. Like I'll start playing a Switch game and play it until it's done, and then I'll go jump to my PS4 or I'll jump onto my VR headset or something, and I'll leap around. If I've just finished a game on the PS4, the next game I play, I'll be like, I'll have to pick something on a different console, so I can kind of like just do a bit of a round robin of almost consoles.
I think one of the frustrating things with the Switch is, in my mind, it could have been the ultimate entertainment device, like all-round entertainment device. And what do I mean by that is, for instance, you mentioned a VR headset. So, for instance, if you look at what Oculus have done, you've got Netflix, you've got Amazon Video on there, you've got YouTube and stuff like that. And I just feel like if the Switch became that all-in-one thing, like if you're going on holiday, you wouldn't have to worry. Like if you could have like Spotify on it, or like I said, Netflix and all of this stuff. Like if it was an all-in-one media entertainment device that you could literally pick up and go with you, like that would fix a lot of people's problems in life, rather than taking a tablet to watch something and a Nintendo Switch to game on. You could have this kind of all-in-one thing. But I don't think Nintendo wanted to do that. And they've made these mistakes before with the Wii, like not out of the box being able to play DVDs, and things like the GameCube not taking full-size DVDs and stuff like that. So again, it's just another massively missed opportunity, and it frustrates the hell out of me that I kind of have to take a tablet with me just to do one thing, when essentially I've got this device that could do many but can't, because it's been limited.
Yeah, everything took a long time to come to Switch, because my daughter, she's like every small kid at the moment, they watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
But she, until recently, she now watches a bit of YouTube on her Switch, but beforehand she would watch YouTube on her phone and game on her Switch. And now they've sort of rectified that. But console's been out for what did we say, 4 years? It's taken them 4 years to put YouTube on their console. Like, it's borderline criminal, really.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell my daughter that. She'll be all over that if she finds out YouTube's on there.
Yeah, it's been on there a while. I think there's one in America. Is it Hulu, or they've got a streaming service?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's not one of the big ones like Netflix or anything.
No.
I'm glad Chris Brown agrees with me, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which Chris Brown that is, if it's the singer.
I can categorically say it's not the singer.
No.
Damn it. Maybe it's Rick Waller, who knows?
I wish.
Anyway, on that note, before we move on to the final topic, Duba, have you got an update for us?
Yeah, I have, but this is gonna be something different. This is gonna be a quiz.
Okay.
I've got three quizzes, so I'm going to do 2 now, and then we'll do one at the end. So this is going to be fastest type in first. So you can either put it in the YouTube comments or in our private chat. You can type your answers there. So, right, okay. Bearing in mind where we've... Oh, hang on, I've got a message. Oh my God, he's actually replied.
No way.
This is an exclusive.
No way.
This is an exclusive.
I don't believe you.
Let
me put you on solo.
On screen.
Oh my God, he's actually replied.
Wait, what?
Okay,
Who made contact?
Right, I'm going to have to send him a
joking.
message.
Oh,
right.
God.
That's actually
Wow.
him.
So it's done.
Right. So, bearing in mind...
It's nice to have a behind the scenes of how Dorbs gets the guests. You research them. Are they real? Are they fake? Is it just the same picture of the guy's face over and over? No, that's probably not him. He's put dodgy stuff about what he did at Christmas. That's not him. Then you find the real one. It's a really good process of elimination you got there.
Oh, no, it's from the account that put that rude stuff on.
Oh.
No, it's not really. It is from Richard Waller. Right, so...
Actually him.
Right, the first question, fastest fingers first, whoever wants to type it in the chat, whatever. So he's from Sittingbourne in Kent. So what football team do you think he supports? What football team do you think
I don't fucking know anything about football.
Do you know what? I don't even know any football teams in Kent.
Gillingham.
Gillingham?
No, I reckon it'll be like a Man U or a Liverpool. Like.
Right. Well done, Blunners, because it's Man United.
Yeah, see? They're everywhere.
Man United.
Okay. Have you done a deep dive on this man's life? This is insane. This is absolutely insane.
Dean's thinking, what am I doing there?
Did you do the same with me? Like, what colour's Dean's boxer shorts tonight? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out.
We've got the cameras. We've got our cameras, right. So, second question. This is going to be... No, this is going to be closest. So you can all answer this one. So he recently, I don't know how recent that is, 26th of February this year, he did a internet speed test. Okay, so What speed test do you think his internet provider provides for downloads, not uploads? Downloads. What speed test?
I'm going to say 100 meg. Let's get 100
I'll
meg.
go closest answer
26.
wins.
35 meg.
100 meg.
So what you got?
26.
So what's yours at, Ryan?
35.
35. Ollie?
So 100. I reckon he's
26.
on 5. I'm going to say 100.
26.
100. Blunners?
70.
70. Dean?
25.
Dean's gone in the private chat.
You are the winner because it's actually 0.32 megabits a second. So well done.
Now I get why that's why he closed his Switch, because it wouldn't work.
So well done, Dean. You're the winner. I have got another one.
Oh, come on, Duba.
Oh, dude.
Do you want to do me box first, and then we can get.
Oh, we do in your box. What's in the box? Do you remember that, Dean?
I have.
Yeah, I do remember his box.
Well,
can we also address the fact that he was talking behind my back with other guests? I think we need to address that.
Whoa! That's not true. That's not true.
Really? What did I post on Twitter?
Your video, you actually clipped it just before I said, actually, he's a really nice bloke. I have a lot of time for him.
Doesn't exist, mate.
Yeah,
It's all lies.
it's on
So
YouTube.
do you want to explain, Dean?
So I I do watch your podcast usually every Monday, or unless I can watch it live. So I said, well, I'm going to start my morning with my morning coffee and watch my favourite lads from the retro community do their podcast. And as I was going to the kitchen and getting my espresso, I could hear Dorba going, "Oh, Gebs, do you know what's really funny? You pronounced my name right." And she was like, "What, Dorba?" And he was like, "Yeah. Oh, Mean Machine Dean calls me Duba."
Yeah, and then you're missing out the end bit when I said, "Oh, I like Dean. He's a good lad."
Yeah, but that's not funny, is it?
Exactly. So yeah, I liked your video because it was on, and then he clipped just before you got to that bit, and I think I commented, "You've sort of done some creative editing there because you cut it off." But I like the Duba. I think you should keep Duba because I like it.
You've got your own command on my Twitch channel. So
I know, and I'm very proud. I don't press it because I don't want to sort of overload your Twitch with that.
Have you seen my streams?
The fart noises and the laughing bloke, and you'll probably block me as well. So I don't really want to do that, if I'm honest. But I may do it once or twice.
It's all right. Now, every time I go to Gebs' channel now, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're the bloke who can't say his name right." I was like, "Yeah, cheers."
Cool.
Anyway,
okay. So we ready for what's in the box?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to play the intro. I'll play the intro.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Very aggressive, that, isn't it?
Very aggressive.
Right.
Yeah, Ollie, always duck face at the top.
He's duck face again. So there it is. Obviously, the expensive box.
I love it. I love the box.
You all know the rules.
Just to confirm, Rick Waller's not in the box, is he?
I don't want to say anything in case it comes on stream in the future.
You should have sent him the Twitch link, mate. The YouTube link. Got him involved.
I'm going to just join the chat. So come join the chat now.
Afterwards, I will message him later, and I'll see if he wants to come on because that'd be quite cool. And if you do some singing, that'd be amazing. But yeah, obviously, 20 questions, yes or no. So you all know the rules by now. So shoot. Who's going first? Duckface.
Duckface.
Is it a cartridge-based game?
Quack quack.
No.
Is it a game?
Yes.
Is it a CD-based game?
No. We're having a good think about this.
Dean, isn't it? Sure.
Yeah, he is thinking.
I remember his question last time about the rows of the cartridges.
If it's not a cartridge or a disc.
Well, then it can.
Or
Is
CD.
it a DVD? Is it printed on
No.
DVD? Ooh.
Is it a floppy disk?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I know he loves his Amiga.
Is it an Amiga game?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is it a platform game?
Oh.
Right, he put a picture on, didn't he, the other day of all his.
No.
Oh no, CD32.
That's
Not a
CD32.
platform game. Okay.
CD32. But no, it's not. It's not.
Oh, you bought a CD32?
Yeah.
No, he's had one for life.
Yeah, I got it in probably
He's the
96,
Amiga man.
97.
And it still
got
works. Congratulations.
It does.
Is it a sports game?
Oh.
Either a sport or it's not.
Well,
I don't. Look,
Could
you
be
can't say
considered a
much.
sports game.
I've got a disc called Sex Partners. Is that sport or not? I don't know.
No. Well, it's one of those things that could be classed as a sport. Put it that way.
Okay.
So kind of consider sport. That gives us a bit of a steer.
If this is what I think it is, I'm going to be really pissed off. Actually, yeah. Who is it?
It's you, mate.
Oh, is it? Is it a poker game?
No.
Okay, fine. It's not what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like Sam Fox strip poker or something.
I was
Wouldn't
tempted
put it past
to. I was tempted to get that and do it.
Has it been like put onto other consoles, like i.e. a Evercade?
Do you mean specifically an Evercade or just any console?
No, that's like any consoles. But you mean that it's good enough that they've actually?
It's not just a. It's not just an Amiga game. It's available on other.
Okay, because I do remember Britain Can't Beat.
Is it on the upcoming Amiga Mini?
Oh, I can't remember the bloody game.
I've not seen it on there, but they've got some unannounced games still. But I've not seen it on there.
Like, where you're saying it's not really a sport, but kind of. I've gone through poker. So, is it a something you consider more of a game, like poker or snooker or something, as opposed to a sport, like a football game? So, is it more of a game that is played? As in, is it something you could play not in the game? The game you can play it in real life. Like, is it something that you can actually play? Sorry, I phrased it really badly. Is it something you could actually play in real life? Like you could, like say, poker or pool or something like that. So is it a game? It's a game of something you could actually do.
Ooh, that's a tough one. You could do, but it might be illegal. So I've given you more than a yes/no there.
That's a good clue then. All right.
Is it Moonstones?
Moonstone? I've never even heard of that, so no.
Fucking, you've got an Amiga. You've never heard of Moonstones?
Oh, mate, it's even in one of my highlight reels. Actually, Moonstone's fantastic.
Made me think of it.
It's wonderful. You play as a knight. You can cut someone's head off. It's glorious. Let me think. So it's a sport, but not a sport. You sound like Boris Johnson. It's a sport, not a sport. You can play it. You can play it, but not play it.
Stay in, but go out.
And my hair is fucking terrible. Well, it is actually pretty bad. That's why I've got the hat on. Right. Let me think. You would be arrested if you did it.
I don't know many Amiga games, but there is one that comes to mind. So
is it Speedball 2?
No.
Right. Okay. So that takes that.
I was about to say.
Do you know what? This is good. This is a tricky one, so I'll give you a clue. It's a racing game. I won't add that to the thing, but it's a racing game.
Not the game I was thinking of.
Oh.
So you've had that as a freebie. This is a hard one. I'm not going to lie.
Can anyone remember any games? I can't remember any.
I mean, I know a few. I know quite a few, but I don't want to just reel them off.
Yeah, but did you get killed for doing it, or you could get in trouble for doing it?
Yeah, it's gonna be one where like you gotta be hurting pedestrians or something, isn't it? Or killing people or something.
Well, there is a
just
game that comes
racing.
to mind when you can launch missiles, which is, and if I may, Super Skid Marks.
No.
But that's been come out in the Evercade, hasn't it? So
No, how many we got left?
5.
Which is also a great name for a game or a bad night out after a curry.
Place HQ on that.
thoughts in the chat.
Is that a question?
Yeah, to the panel.
Oh.
You would get arrested for doing it.
Chase HQ.
No. Hang on, have I done this right? Yes, I have. 1, 2. Yes, I have. That's cool.
I'm gonna have to just the only racing game I think of on the Amiga is Overdrive, but I don't remember if
that's a bloody good choice.
It's wrong.
Is that your question?
That's my yeah. Is it Overdrive?
No. Very good though. Very good.
It's literally the only racing game on the Amiga right now.
See, I don't know because again, I don't really know racing games on the Amiga, but the "you'd get arrested for it" line has got me thinking.
Throwing you off. A lie.
It's tricky. I don't have any.
There'd be a version of
Any
like
suggestions?
Carmageddon on the Amiga. Was that on the Amiga? That seems
That's
like
in the someone's put that in the chat as well. Like
Nigel Mance will have a game on there.
Yeah, but I don't think Nigel Mance was
I
breaking
think
any
we're
rules,
at the
was
point
he?
where we can guess some games, but I don't know the games. So if anyone wants to use my turn, because I would be a stab in the dark. I don't know the names of Amiga racing games that would fit the description. But we should have enough information to get it now, I think.
This is a tough. I've been quite mean on this one. It's quite a tough.
What about Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge?
It's a very good guess, but unfortunately not.
I've got no idea.
Who's next?
Wasn't there that? Oh, hang on. Hang on. The car you drive, is it a truck?
Not according to the picture on the front. I don't think you do. Well, you got one left. So I'm going to ask you, Dean. This is just for you only, because I want you to get this one. If I was to remove Dean from your name that's on the screen, what would it say?
Mean Machine?
I'll tell you what, Dean. Oh, that's a great guess, mate. Let me just. That is a brilliant guess.
Mean Machine.
You know what? I have never heard of that.
I only got it. I only got it because I saw it had Mean Machines. So I was like, yeah, I'll get that. But this, I did say it's a tough one, but I did give a clue a couple of questions ago. I said
you actually have been much kinder with your answers today. I have to say, you've given a little bit of context to your yes or no, which is rare.
Do you know what? Right? It says Mean Machine, yeah.
Yeah.
A new logo there.
Mean Machine on the back.
Did it say mug on the front or something?
Codemasters. That'll be on Evercade Codemasters too.
But it says on the barcode, it says Mean Machines.
Oh.
Right?
Mean Machine.
On the disc, it says Mean Machines. So what is it? Is it Mean Machine or Mean Machine? Mean Machines or Mean Machine? And there's the instructions. There you go.
Look at that. Fold out instructions, eh?
A4 bit of paper.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that was a tricky one, but I only got it because it was Mean Machine. So I thought that's pretty cool.
I'll have to check that one out. I'll write it down actually.
So you can get it on the Amiga. So it might be on your
Might even be on my A600 set next to me.
Yeah.
You have to add that to the list of Twitch streams.
Yeah.
The other suggestions we've given you.
Mean Machine Dean plays Mean Machines.
Yeah.
Pop Idol playing as Richard Waller.
Yeah.
Premium content only at this channel.
Well done, That was a good guess. That was a good guess, Dean. Well done. So I'm going to do one final Rick Waller update.
Okay.
So I don't know, but
I've shared the spotlight with Rick Waller. I think.
Does it get any better than that?
I don't know if you know, but there's just been some breaking news. They're going to remake Home Alone, and Rick Waller is going to be cast in one of the roles. So again, this is multiple choice.
Is he going to be a sticky bandit?
So what character do you think Rick Waller is going to be cast as?
The lady, the pigeon lady.
I'm going to say one of the sticky bandits. What are they saying? Like Marv? Wasn't it Marv?
Marvin.
I want to say Hank and Marv, wasn't it? I want to say
Harry.
It's Harry.
Harry and Marv. Yeah, one of them. He's going to be one of the sticky bandits, I think.
Which one you're going to go for?
Okay,
Harry.
It'll be the old guy that bangs on the head at the end.
Yeah, Chris Brown's who I was thinking, Bud Kevin's brother.
Bud.
Oh yeah,
Buzz.
Buzz.
No, I think Tim, you got it actually. He's going to be. He's actually going to be. He's actually going to be Marv.
Oh, nice.
So he's going to be cast as Marv in the new Home Alone film.
It can't be real.
Of course it's not. This is from August 2020, and he said Home Alone remake. I'm up for it. So he looks like honestly, genuinely.
Wow.
I'm
going to respond to him now.
Yeah, well, I am conscious of the time, and I know Ollie, you wanted to cover another topic, but I'm aware that we've been 2 hours in, and
so the Rick Waller talk delayed us.
I've got time. I do have time, so it's entirely up to you.
Okay, well, if
we can keep it short.
Yeah, so go on, Ollie. And we might get another Rick Waller update before the end, so stay with us.
So with all the different things that sort of happen with retro gaming, so we get emulation was quite big, and then we get lots of emulation devices. Then moved into the mini consoles, which have done quite well. We've now got things like the Poly Mega coming out, where people are actually sort of spending lots of money on a system which is able to play your original hardware and sort of retro fit it and make it look pretty. What is there left to do for retro games from here on, other than just stick them on streaming services? Is there anything else that can be done with retro games now for people that could be like the new thing that everybody kind of dives on for a little bit?
So one thing that I've been part of is there's a game streaming service called PiePacker. Unique name, I know. But it's actually really, really, really good. So similar to maybe something like Antstream, the thing that separates them from everyone else is that you can play multiplayer through your browser. Now, here's the interesting part. One thing that you can actually do if you're a Kickstarter backer like I was, is they give you the ability to bring your own games. So as long as you legally obtain your ROMs, then what you can do is you can drag and drop that into the interface. It boots it up into the client, and then what you do is you share a URL with a friend. They fire up their client, and they join as player 2. So you can play Snes, Mega Drive, and then I think it's Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy games. So obviously, the latter being a problem for 2-player gaming, but SNES and Mega Drive games online over the internet with your mate for free, sign me up. And the cool thing is they're actually releasing a platform where you can actually dock any of your games, so like actual NES cartridges and SNES cartridges and Mega Drive cartridges, plug that into your PC and do exactly the same thing. So rather than using the ROMs, you're actually using the original hardware to then play online with your friends. So I will be doing streams like that. In fact, hint, hint, it's my birthday on Sunday, but on Saturday, I'm probably going to be doing a stream for my birthday. So I may actually use this as a way to get a little bit of you guys involved. And it is honestly a fantastic platform. So at the moment, it is only on Chrome, and I think there's one other browser that's supported, but they are bringing out an app and stuff like that. And yeah, it's very cool. Like if you haven't seen it, and sign up for it. It's free. So all of the games that you're seeing there, you can actually play. So for instance, we may do a bit of Worms and stuff like that. And
Sensible Soccer, yes.
Yeah, you can literally like, it's as easy as fire up the client, you get the game, you send someone a URL, they join, that's it, and off they go. And you can plug basically a baked potato in it to play it. Like every controller I've thrown at it, it just works. So
we could play you on Sensible Soccer on that.
Yep.
Just
100%.
by signing up for free, plug in a PS4 controller.
Well, the cool thing is you don't actually need to sign up. So, for instance, because I've got mine, I can just send you a URL and it just fires up the client. And you just join straight away. So you don't actually need an account. But if you wanted to play the games yourself, you could. But I mean, there's things like save states and all of that stuff involved into there as well. But so that's one part which I think is really cool for gaming, is getting more of the original hardware, but taking it online and doing it in a really brilliant way, which I think these guys have absolutely nailed on the head. But one thing I did play around with was mixing, and I think you touched on it earlier, Triangle Face, which was mixing VR with retro. Now, one thing I actually did during a charity stream, I think it was the second year I did a stream for Special Effect, was I actually took, there's an app for, I think it's on Steam, I can't remember the name of it. I want to say it's called like Neon Arcade or something to that extent. And what you do is you fill all your arcade with ROMs, and you essentially walk through a physical arcade. So you see all of the cabinets all lit up, and then you walk up to the arcade, click the button of where you would normally put a coin in, click the button to start the game, and then you actually interact with the arcade machine. And I was
play the ROM on there.
And I was like, this is insane. But the other thing that I did was, there's another app that's very similar. I think it's called EMU VR. And you get dumped into what looks like an 80s or 90s bedroom. So you can actually customize it. So you can customize it and put all posters on the wall. In fact, I actually did it once and had a poster of Big Boy Barry on the wall. It was quite funny. So like even light gun games work in it, which is the most surreal experience ever. That you're in VR and you're holding a NES Zapper playing Duck Hunt on a virtual TV. And it's done so well that if you actually look really closely at the CRT TV, you get like the little pixelated squares that you would get like on an old CRT. And you actually have to like get the console out, put the cartridge on that, get the cables and plug it into the TV, turn the TV on, click the console on, and then it will boot. That type of experience for retro, honestly, it blows the mind, because it just works so well. So I think those two things are going to be huge in the next couple of months and years. So online gaming with retro, and I think combining real world or near as real world experiences with retro, because honestly, both of those apps I've mentioned, the arcade one and the one where it puts you in that bedroom, were two of the most incredible experiences. I mean, here's a clever thing that they did. If anyone's ever owned a PS1, they were quite notorious for having laser problems. So one of the things that you can do is, if the game starts to skip in the game, you pick the PS1 up, turn it upside down and put it down, because it used to actually push the laser a little bit closer to the disc, and it actually makes it load a bit better. So, they've added little funny things like that into it. And honestly, if you haven't experienced those, EMU VR, and I'm sure the other one's called like Neon Arcade something in Steam.
Can you get them on Oculus Quest? I've got an Oculus Quest 2. I don't think you can get them on that platform, can you?
So they're not exclusively on the Quest, but the way that you could play it is if you used something like Virtual Desktop.
Right, okay.
Is it Virtual Desktop? No, what is it called? In fact, I had it on here a minute ago. It's called Virtual Desktop, sorry. So what you can do is you can take Steam VR games like they are, and then push those to the headset, and then it just works like you would have it tethered to your PC. Honestly, it's the one with the bedroom one, EMU VR, is honestly one of the most immersive experiences. And the cool thing is, there's actually a clock in the corner, and as you rotate it you can actually have it running real time if you really want it to. And it runs in real time. So as the sun starts to come up, you'll actually start seeing the sunrise come through and the light come through the window and stuff like that. So it's incredibly immersive. And the good thing is when I was streaming, I could actually keep an eye on the real time to see how long I've actually been streaming for. So it was absolutely brilliant. And I'll probably be doing that again soon. So I will be doing a lot more VR, but I really want to nail that retro experience, because the arcade one was in its infancy and it worked well. It had like the attraction noises. So as you walk through, you would hear like Mortal Kombat and then like, Defender and stuff like that as you walk past. But you could tell it was a bit glitchy, and there was a couple of issues that I had. So I need to go back and revisit it. But honestly, it was two of the most immersive experiences I've ever had. And it just brought everything you love about retro into one physical place in one go. But yeah, Pipe Hacker and those are definitely, I think, the future of retro.
Yeah, another thing I was going to mention about PyPacker, because I've looked at it myself, and we talk about the Evercade quite a lot on here, and there's quite a few Evercade games that are on PyPacker. So if there's an Evercade cartridge you're thinking about getting and you want to give one of the games a try, I'd recommend just jumping on PyPacker and playing the game, see if you like it, and then it might help you decide if you want the cartridge or not. Because I've done that.
Great idea. But yeah, I mean, I've been using PyPacker for about a year. No, when was it? Yeah, I think it's over a year now because I had the beta and stuff. And in fact, one of my streams I did last week, which was Metroid Fusion, I actually used that platform because I just couldn't be bothered to set anything else up. So I had my legally obtained ROM that I got from my cartridge, which is actually true because I do actually own the game, and dragged it into it and just ran the entire stream through it. And it just made life 1,000 times easier. Although playing it on an Xbox pad felt really weird, but it worked, and it worked flawlessly. But yeah, for online gaming, I can definitely see that being awesome in the future. And as I said, the moment I get that physical dongle that I can then plug into my PC and dock physical cartridges, trust me, my Twitch streams are going to be incredible in the future.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
That's
I
amazing.
think short of somebody coming up with like the Oasis from Ready Player One, where you've got a fully immersive suit that you can put on a rig and a headset, and you're just basically in the game. That's the end game, I think, for everything, isn't it? Is to have a setup so that you're basically you could do that. But yeah, that's the first thing I started thinking of when you were talking about the walk through arcade and the bedroom. It's like, oh man, it's the early infancy of the Oasis. I can feel it.
It was honestly, if you haven't tried them and Triangle Face, if you need a hand setting up any of those, just drop me a message. I'll help you get that up and running. But honestly, they are the bedroom one especially there was just something awesome about it. And the good thing is they have a very thriving community on their Discord where people make loads of skins. So for instance, someone said, oh, years ago I used to have like a Power Rangers bed cover and bed sheets and this, that, and the other. And someone said, oh, was it this one? And they said, yeah. So they were like, oh, hang on a minute. So they made this whole skin. And this guy basically recreated his entire bedroom.
Wow.
Exactly how it was. We had like the same coloured poster, the same posters on the wall, the same coloured walls and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a great experience because you're not only experiencing the game, you're bringing back those memories. And even to the extent of, you pick up the CRT and kind of place it where you want in that room. And as I said, kind of plugging in those cables and actually putting the cartridge in and switching on the console. It's just, there's something just humbling about that whole experience because now we just turn things on and stuff works. But the fact that they actually force you to actually go through that process again just brings that entire nostalgia back to you as well.
Yeah, no, that does sound amazing. Yeah. It does sound amazing.
There we go. That's where retro's going. I like
it.
Yeah,
no. Yeah. So, before we leave you, Duba, do you have a Rick Waller update for us?
I have sent him a message. He hasn't responded yet.
Have you asked if he's got an OnlyFans?
Shall I ask that?
No.
No. I've basically said we do retro game podcasts, but we're trying to looking to do something a bit different. Would you be interested? And then I sent him a link to our link tree stuff. So hopefully he'll get back to us.
There we go.
And then he may watch this stream and decide better of it and not.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll look at it before this is actually uploaded tomorrow. So
yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Well, any updates from Rick Waller? Duba will put on our Facebook page, Retro Gaming Revival. So do check out, or on Instagram again, Retro Gaming Revival, and Twitter. So do check them out. Thank you, Mean Machine Dean, for joining us again.
Thank you very much.
It's been brilliant, like last time, and I hope we get you back on before the end of the year. Definitely.
Sure.
We could talk retro games for hours, and about Rick Waller as well, as it seems. So
you see, you need to get myself, Alex, and Rick Henderson back on as a trio. That would be
that would be amazing.
That would be the one, because then I can just mock both of them from afar.
I tell you what, that was a good podcast Rick Henderson put out. He did this first one with X-Ray. That was really good. The Games Life. That was a good podcast. That's started, isn't it? That first one out so far, so I've just subbed to that because that's going to be pretty good, I think, going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And before we go, Dean, did you say you're twitching tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not quite. I'm not quite sure. Someone keeps hitting me with a cattle prod. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing tomorrow. I may play a game called Struggling, which you may or may not have seen, but if I do, expect a lot of laughs is all I'm going to say.
Cool.
So yes,
Okay.
twitch.tv/mememachine-d.
Okay,
And
definitely.
before we go, you just got to 700 followers, didn't you, on Twitch?
Yeah, it's. Do you know what? It's quite weird because, you know, as I said, I try not to fantasize or fascinate myself about numbers and stuff like that because, as I said, I used to in the start, and I got quite disheartened quite early, which is why I tell people, if you're streaming, if there's anything that you've got with like how many people are watching and stuff like that, just remove it because enjoy what you do. Don't focus on the number. But yeah, to pass 700 follows was a very humbling experience, actually. I still sit here sometimes and go, what? Like it's crazy. And I mean, you know, we've just come out of September and they had Subtember where they had like a discount on subbing to the channel. And the good thing is I've always stayed true to what I've always said, which is that any money that I make from the channel goes straight back into, you know, funding things and stuff like that. You know, it's very rare that I've ever bought anything for myself with the money. You know, I bought a brand new desk, which has now massively changed my setup. You know, I've improved my mic. You know, small things for the PC to make things better, upgrades for the retro stuff. So anything that goes into the channel goes back into just pushing out more content as well. But yeah, to pass 700 is crazy. And honestly, every time I hear someone hit that follow button, it honestly does. It makes me so happy. I mean, people who sub to the channel is equally just as amazing to me. I'm incredibly blessed to even have people turning up to my streams. There's a lot of streamers who have very little views, so to consistently have people turn up and support in the way they do is incredibly humbling for me. And long may it continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, don't forget to check out Dean's Twitch stream tomorrow. Thank you for those who have joined us in the chat. Thanks to our usual panel for being here as always. It's been a really fun evening. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that thumbs up, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next stream. Oh, Duba's got something to say.
Before we go, obviously, happy birthday for this Sunday, Dean.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And we will definitely, I know Ryan and I think we sub, I'm sure we subbed. Yeah, I know Ryan does, and certainly myself. But yeah, we will pop in on Saturday just to say hi.
Yeah, fingers crossed I'll do a stream on Saturday. I mean, Sunday I kind of want to spend it with my family, as much as my brother's like, oh, just stream. I'm like, I'm trying to spend it with you, you idiot. What are you trying to do? So I think I'll do something on Saturday, probably around my same time, which is about 8 PM. If it's earlier,
could be
turn
dangerous.
Oh, here we go. What?
we're out. The RGR lads are out on the town.
Yeah,
Saturday.
so you might get some drunken messages from us.
we can watch it live while we're out smashed.
I've spoken to Richard Waller. Get him.
Many happy returns.
Tell him about my Twitch channel because Izzy's dead, so he might as well come and support me. So there you go.
We will. 100%.
Definitely. Well, have a nice birthday Sunday.
Thank you very much.
And thanks again for joining us. Thanks everyone in the chat. And we will see you all soon. So until then, good night.